The athlete who finishes third at the Olympics is happier than the one who finishes second. In the 90s, a research team took footage from the Barcelona games, muted it, cut it down to just the medalists' faces, and asked people who didn't know the results to rate how happy each face looked. Bronze surprisingly beat silver, clearly, consistently on the podium and at the finish line. The person with the worst result felt better, and the reason has nothing to do with the medals. It's the same glitch that decides how you feel about your work, your body, your money, and whoever you checked on last night before you slept. It took me a long time to figure out why some of my best months still felt like falling behind. This study is where it finally clicked for me. Here's what the researchers worked out. The silver medalist stands there running one mental movie. One step more, and that gold was mine. Their comparison points up at the person above them. The bronze medalist is running a different movie altogether. One step less, and I go home with nothing. Their comparison points at a different thing. Same podium, different comparisons. And the comparison decided the feeling, not the result. Your brain compares the way your lungs breathe. Anyone telling you to just stop comparing yourself is prescribing a coma. You don't get to switch it off. You do get to choose who you measure against. Measure against others, and it takes from you. Measure against your own past self, and it pays you. Comparing to others steals. Comparing to your own past self builds. So here's a quick practice to do a comparison from your own past self. I want you to find one artifact of you from 5 years ago. A photo, a journal page, a message you sent someone. Your camera roll from August 2021. Put it next to today and ask one question. Did I move? Not, am I where he is? Or not, am I where I should be by now? Because should is usually somebody else's timeline in disguise. Just one simple question. Did I move? Where you moved, that's your proof, and you're allowed to actually feel it for a minute. Where you didn't, that's not shame. That's next year's work naming itself. And if those years were mostly survival, holding the line through a bad season counts as movement. Ask anyone who has been through one. One artifact, one question. If you pause here and actually do it, you've already got the point of this video. But let's dive deep to understand the science behind why your brain keeps defaulting to external comparison. In the early 2000s, the primatologist Brosnan de Waal and his colleague Sarah Brosnan paid capuchin monkeys for a small task. The pay was a slice of cucumber, and the monkeys were happy with it. They'd do the task all day. Then, in full view of the first monkey, the neighbor got a grape for the same task. In the next round, the first monkey takes its cucumber and throws it back at the researcher, rattles the cage, goes on strike. The cucumber hadn't changed. The neighbor had. That's how old this wiring is. For a social brain, value is relative. The question is never, is this good? The question is this good next to what the one beside me got? Is this good relative to what I'm comparing myself against? You have had your own cucumber moments. You were fine with your place, your pace, your body, your savings, right up until somebody's grape came into the view. And everything changed because your perspective changed. And when you think about it, your phone is an amazing gadget for keeping grapes in your view. Back in the day, a fence used to hold a dozen neighbors. Your phone now holds a couple of billion people to compare yourselves against. Filtered, so you mostly see them on their best days, holding their best grape. Comparing to others was always a rigged game. Now it's rigged with a ranking system called algorithms that govern our feed and attention. The thing I keep returning to is an old analogy. A lily doesn't smell like a daisy. If a lily could think and it spent its one season wishing it smelled like the daisy across the garden, that isn't ambition. That's amnesia. It forgot what it is. So you have to understand, you're running a one-lane race. Nobody else started where you started, with your family, your health, your setbacks, your strange advantages. The variables never match. So no measurement against another person is absolutely clean. Your own past is the only ruler marked in your units. It's a kinder measure, sure. It's also the only one that's technically honest. Psychologists who study this keep landing on the same result. People who track themselves against their own past improve more and enjoy the improving more than people chasing someone else's number. Not every look at another life is a trap, because sometimes you watch someone take a completely different road and thrive on it, and it hands you a perspective you'd never have found in your own lane. Proof of how many ways there are to live and how much room there is to coexist inside all that difference. So run a simple test on every glance outward. What does it leave behind? Curiosity or encouragement? Keep it. Shame or guilt? That's the glitch again, and you know where the ruler goes. Back on your own timeline. And that timeline is the only game you can actually win. You can't win a game that wasn't built for you. You can win the one you built. The honest version scores only what you truly own. Your actions, your thinking, and the slow evolution that comes out of them. Whether the world files any of that as a win or a loss was never in your hands to begin with, so it's a terrible place to keep your mood. Design your own game. Play it solo, and play it with intention. And the winning takes care of itself. There's one more place where this rule shows up, and it's darker. Watch anyone who wants to own your attention or your anger. They all sell the same product. You versus them. The neighbors, the other side in politics, the group that's to blame for your gap. That's comparing to others industrialized, because a person locked in measuring themselves against other people is easy to control. A person running you versus you is nearly impossible to control, because when your scoreboard is internal, there's nothing to hijack. Balanced people aren't calm because their lives are easy. They're calm because the race they care about has one lane. And what they fix in that lane ripples outward, not as a comparison for anyone, but as an example, a working perspective for someone rowing a similar boat. So I'll leave you with one question, one artifact about yourself from 5 years ago. Tonight, put it next to today. Did you move? In the Quiet Rep video, I said growth doesn't need an audience. Turns out it doesn't need an opponent either. Just the right ruler. Comparing to others steals, and comparing to your past self builds. And in the comment section below, tell me one thing last year you wouldn't believe that you handle now. See you soon. Bye.